American Handgunner Insider.
Hey everybody, Tom McHale with American Handgunner Magazine, here with another episode of American Handgunner Insider. We're going to talk about a cool new gun just announced today, depending on when you're watching or listening to this. That would be December 11th, 2024. This is the new Ruger RXM. Cool pistol. We managed to get our hands on one pre-production, so we've been playing with it for a little while, and consider this a sneak preview because this will be in the upcoming issue of American Handgunner Magazine coming out mid to late January. So keep your eyes open for that, and we will have the full scoop on this pistol. But I did want to give you a little bit of a sneak preview today. This is an interesting gun. It's kind of a co-opetition product from Ruger, and they've got some experience in that area. Think about the whole 1022 line and the enormous aftermarket for parts, accessories. Heck, you can even build I'll use the air quotes, Ruger 1022 without any Ruger parts because of the de facto standardization. So I like what they've done here because it's a similar effort. Ruger has partnered with Magpul, and you may know of that company from their, I guess I would say, their dominance in the magazine space, especially on the AR platforms, but they do make lots of pistol magazines too. So in this case, Ruger and Magpul have teamed up, and Magpul is producing the frame and the magazines, and we'll talk about these things in a couple of minutes. And Ruger is producing the shooty parts for lack of a detailed explanation. Barrel slide, all the metal stuff, the firing control system, and all of that. The pistol is a classic general purpose defensive carry type pistol, optics ready, rail up front for accessories like a light or laser if you want to do that. What the heck, you can put a bayonet on there too. I've seen those for rail systems. Anyway, cool little pistol. The first model is 9mm. It's a two-tone. It's a kind of I would describe it as a dark gray frame with the coated black slide and trigger assembly. And of course the magazines are black as well. So neat looking gun. But here's what's really interesting about it and the result of this collaboration. The pistol itself uses a self-contained fire control system, kind of like how the SIG P320 family and other pistols do that. So with a couple of pins popped out, you basically can remove the entire fire control unit, and that is the serialized part of the gun. So legally, that defines the gun itself. That means that any other parts, like the barrel, the slide, the frame, in this case from Magpul, you can buy at your local store, you can buy online, you can order different ones, different colors, different sizes, and that kind of thing. So this pistol, you won't see any changeable grip additions or modules or panels. The idea is kind of like in the SIG P320 family, you swap out the frame for something that you want. You want an extended magazine, a taller frame, get that. You want a different color, get that. Compact for even easier carry, get that. Now, part of the interesting thing here is this pistol, I don't know if there was direct collaboration or not, but it is GLOCK Gen 3 compatible. So think Glock 19-ish type gun compatible with Gen 3 stuff. So if you're watching the video version of this, you're probably seeing a lot of very familiar controls. They are GLOCK type or GLOCK compatible controls made by Ruger in this case. But that's a good customer-centric thing. I absolutely love that because why should we have infinity different sight mounting dovetail specifications, or why can't we standardize on some of the easy stuff and let manufacturers focus on the things that should be truly unique to a given pistol? So this is great. There is a huge aftermarket, various parts, trigger components, entire trigger assemblies if you want, slide lock levers, decorative stuff, you name it. So this is kind of a neat idea. I love it. Now, I did mention that the pistol is optics ready. They've done it well in this case. Again, if you're watching the video version of this, you'll see lots of holes, both screw holes and holes for kind of barrel type pins. And the idea is that with this gun, you do a direct mount of the optic to the slide, no adapter plate required for common stuff like Trigicon and Leupold mounting systems. I actually tested this gun with a Trijicon RMR HD sight. I had everything I need. Pop in a couple of those pins, use the right screw holes in the slide, and I got a direct mount system. And that is important because it sits lower on the slide. And again, on the picture here, you can see on the right, the sights, front and rear, are a little bit taller than normal. I wouldn't describe them as full suppressor height, but they are a little tall. So that means with most perhaps sighting options, you can see a little bit of the sights in the bottom of the window. With the Trijicon RMR HD and the standard factory sights, I could see probably the top part of the sights and the lower 10% of the window, round numbers. And one more thing to note, the front sight does include in this pistol a tritium lamp. The back sight is blacked out and grooved to reduce glare back there. So nice little touch that you're ready to go with defensive night sights on this gun. Now, I did mention briefly before that Magpul is supplying the magazines. They're their GL9 magazines, and the standard configuration is 15 round mags. You get 2 of them in the box. If you live in a Freedom Challenge state, Ruger already has 10 round configurations of this pistol available, so you can get the same GL9 with 10 round magazines. But back to the GLOCK compatibility, it also takes GLOCK magazines. So if you have a collection of those sitting around, they will work in this gun as well. So nice stuff to see from Ruger. I did take this to the range a couple times and had a little bit of fun with it. I did some bench testing just to see what the pistol itself would do. And to minimize shooter error, I like to use a Ransom multi-caliber rest. It's a steel pistol rest. It's not the Vice version. It's basically a support, but it's a really, really good one. Just a rock solid rest, so it takes most of the movement out of the gun as you're shooting careful groups. I also checked velocity on these using the Garmin Zero system. That's not much bigger than a deck of cards system that sits on the shooting bench and beams radar downrange to clock velocities. Really great piece of gear there. Anyway, I tested 4 different types of ammo, set up targets at 25 yards, and shot 5 shot groups. And as you can see, results were great. So ranging from a tightest group of about 2.4 inches from Norma's 108 grain MHP Defense load. If you're not familiar, it's kind of a neat offering from Norma. It's really geared towards the civilian market. So they design these things to expand large and reliably in more common civilian encounters. So they don't engineer these for police use to do crazy things after going through car doors and windshields and stuff like that. So on the heavier side, we tested some Syntec from Federal, the 150 grain action pistol load, 2.6 inch 5 shot group at 25 there. As you can see, it's a much heavier projectile, so the velocity was about 890 feet per second from this pistol. And then Federal NATO 124 grain and Black Hills 115 grain JHP rounds, 2.8 for the Black Hills and 3.2 inches for the Federal NATO rounds. So good performance across the board. This pistol will shoot more accurately than almost all of us can from a freestanding hold at 25 yards. So good to go there. Wrapping things up, Gen 3 compatible pistol, 15+1 capacity if you carry one in the chamber. The barrel is 4 inches, which kind of puts the whole gun just over 7 inches overall length, and empty, we're weighing in at 23.2 ounces. Now, here's a nifty design point. The MSRP is $499, and in this buyer's market that we're experiencing now, I suspect before too long, we're going to see these selling for somewhat less than that, and that is by design. Ruger's always been very good at making good guns available at an aggressive price point. And in this case, it was intentional, not just to be attractive for a first-time purchase, but due to its GLOCK 3 compatibility to leave some room in the budget for customization and personalization. So there you have it, the Ruger RXM. We're going to be featuring that in the next issue of American Handgunner. But in the meantime, if you have questions, comments, observations, leave them in the comments right here. We're all over that as much as we can be, so we'd love to chat with you there. If you like what you see and you want more of these shows, hit the like and subscribe buttons where you're watching or listening, and we will see you next time on Insider.